Good afternoon, ladies and gentlemen. Welcome to another exciting Propagandacast with me, your host, Imperial Dane, with another exciting 1 vs 1 for you, right here on Sturzdorf. Yeah, alright, that didn't come across right perfectly, but we shall be watching AsiiDemolitionJeep, aka Symbiosis, fighting for the 107th Panzer Brigade. Opposing him shall be MW Dutchx, fighting for the Americans, fighting for the 9th Infantry Division. Symbiosis, of course, recently during the SNF beat DevM in quite the exciting 4 matches. So that was quite exciting. Of course, also be sure to keep an eye out on comnews2.org, where you can find streams and whatnot, and of course also notifications on the next SNF and all that. Also, yesterday, of course, I put some links up, but the alpha stress test went live, and people could sign up. I hope some of my handsome and intelligent and charming viewers did that. If not, of course, I deeply apologize. Of course, one thing to remember, there is an NDA. That means you can't talk about it. It means you can't show it. And sadly, some people apparently decided to stream it yesterday. Of course, they were banned and their streams taken down, so of course, there you go. But we are, of course, seeing a 2-engineer rifle start out here from Dutch, 2 Panzers and a 2 Kettenkrad start out from Demolition Jeep. So far, kind doctrine, at least not from what I can tell. And again, also, point out, I'm not going to talk about the B Alpha, and you don't ask me about it again. I can't say anything. I mean, there's of course also some previews out there, something on Relic News, something on IGN, which does mention mirror matches and mixed matches. I'm not a huge fan of that personally, though. I hope it does make its way into rank for custom matches for a few people there. Sure, fine, but again, majority should be Russians versus Germans, otherwise why even bother with the whole World War II setting. Anyways, first engagement here, Panzer is coming under fire from the rifle coming under fire, shots being exchanged across the road. And the Panzer is quickly pushing. We do see Symbiosis or Demolition Jeeps, Kettenkrad pushed away, rifle pulling back slightly as well into the woods. But there we go, the rifle are moving up again. Engineers trying to take the point. Panzer is coming a bit under light fire. 2 squads of riflemen now out for Dutchx. Also moving up here on the west hand side now. Rather, so far, both players are rushing towards the right-hand side, focusing the majority of the resources and forces towards that high fuel point. Ram getting slightly pushed back. Panzer is so far winning the initial fight through sheer superior firepower. Rifleman on the way. A 3rd squad. Symbiosis, aka Demolition Jeep, getting a nice hand on the map. Rifleman pushing in. Panzer is opening up on them. And Symbiosis, by the way, also won the previous SNF Sunday night fight set of fights. So of course that's also something to important to note right there. And there we go, 3rd squad out for Dutchx. Hiccups, damn it. Fuel is still in the hands of the Americans, but the cutoff has been seized. The Panzers are moving in, and the engineers are simply not going to cut it. Riflemen moving up there. Engineers and more riflemen. Squad of Panzer Grenadiers on its own. And we are seeing grenade upgrade on the way for Dutchx. He is going for the pineapple granate. Panzer is moving up there, going to flank this position. And there we go, a much larger Panzer force moving in. So far 4 squads and 2 Kettenkrads. Still no, at least not what looks like a doctrine. And grenades are soon done with a free rifleman start. Panzers are moving in, riflemen also pulling slightly back. There we go, grenades are ready. Could Dutch get off a good grenade against the Germans? Taking heavy losses, and there we go, grenade up. Very low health on the rifleman, and squad down, another Panzer grenade down. Heavy losses right there for the Panzer Brigade. Men are dying in the streets. Flamethrower engineers moving up. Going to burn the Panzer Grenadiers alive. And of course, another problem with mirror matches is it would basically, well, make my job rather impossible. I can't, do something like say, well, the Germans fought the Germans. No, that's not right. That wouldn't work for the Propagandacast. I mean, in that sense, it's not just because I personally don't like it. It really wouldn't work with my cast either. So again, I hope it's something they'd rather leave for basic matches and leave it out of the auto match business. Panzer though here coming on a bit on fire. Others getting into the house though, firing down on the riflemen. Going for the point right there. Reinforcing here. Going for the point there. Nice sort of, well, bit of a jigsaw right there with all the sort of maps. Lots of harassment, lots of aggressive pushing. Both players trying to deny resources to the other person. More Panzer guys on the way for Demolition Jeep to replace the ones lost to the grenades. Granate. Right here though, coming in a bit under fire, the Panzer was moving in with the Gewehr 43. The Gewehr 43 was a semi-automatic German rifle. It wasn't quite equipped, you know, in larger numbers like this. It was more like, you know, second in command of a squad would usually get that, just to increase the firepower. It was more like, you know, one per squad weapon. It was not like the Americans were pretty much equipped entire squads with it, or the soldiers, I think, also to a certain extent also equipped larger amounts of it. Flamethrowers pushing in. And we do see a nice push here, but they could also end up dangerously. The rifle now exposed, of course. They do have grenades, and Demolition Jeep does react on this and quickly retreats at the same time. We're pushing up here against the engineers. Smaller fight here. Veterans see one rifleman, and we do see one squad, possibly the ones with a grenade. Yes, they're getting pushed away. Kittencat also getting slightly run off. Of course, now could be a good time for Dutchx to begin taking up if you so decided. There we go, rifle are getting caught out in the open by 3 squads equipped with Gewehr 43s, having much more rapid fire. No grenade against the Kittencat. Does nothing. Instead, the rifle quickly pushed off. Not quite working out well there. We are seeing the supply going up. Central victory point in the hands of the 9th Infantry. And the Panzers were quick to repair the Kittencat. And the beta, of course, for those that missed the alpha stress test, begins in January. So you can look a bit forward to that here. Engineers, though, coming up under fire and are getting run off. Getting slowed down, in fact. Getting shot at.
A fuel point is being seized.
And another Kittencat getting caught. But decides to run straight past the rifleman. Or is it to push
unit down?
Perhaps he just realised he couldn't do anything and might as well just bother the opponent. I'm not entirely sure. Did seem a bit weird. And again, more harassment. We do see Dutchx placing a wedge pretty much right here as well. Again, a really nice aggressive harassment. Tria sent up now for the Americans, for the 9th. We are seeing the Kampfgruppe Company, but we're also seeing the Panzer Support Company. So he's not rushing straight for armoured cars. Apart from an anti-tank, half-tank worrying, of course, the Dutch might go for some armoured cars.
Our front lines are collapsing.
Definitely under fire, and Kittencat rushing in to try and connect all of this. Of course, we could quickly see a push up from here. Securing there. Panzer still moving in. 5 squads out for Demolition Jeep right here, holding up behind an Opel Blitzkrieg. Opel Blitz, actually not Blitzkrieg, that's just me being daft. My apologies. Rather though are forced to run the gauntlet of the Panzer Grenadiers. Lots of bullets flying out, trying to get as many Yankees as they run. Mines going down there, lovely to see some mines. Panzer is pushing up there, lovely to see that as well. There we go, large Panzer Grenadier force pushing in. Engineers pushing up to nearby heavy cover, hoping to burn those krauts. But are quickly suffering nastily there. One man dropped against it, looking like though he might be taking a rather permanent nap. Slowing down, he could try getting a grenade off, and he does. Sadly, it flies too short, instead leaving the ground slightly soddy. Dutchx will need to push in a bit harder, otherwise he could risk himself meeting something very nasty. We are seeing an infantry half-track out actually. He goes for the Panzer Support Command. Yes, he goes straight for an infantry half-track then, and it hits a mine. Damaged engine. Panzer is quickly set about repairing it, of course, out in the open. No doctrine still for Demolition Jeep, aka Symbiosis. Dutchx moving in. Going for the motor pool, but not quite finishing it. Interestingly enough. There we go, almost done repairing it. Rifleman, though, ensuring it can't get fully repaired. Panzer goes taking too long time. Instead, we see a retreat. If he'd actually just stopped repairing it and just focused down the rifleman, he might have been able to salvage everything. But now it looks like the infantry half-track is on its own. We do see some of the riflemen suppressed, and the infantry half-track can suppress units as they move up close. Some are getting suppressed, and there we go. A few kills even from the infantry half-track, despite everything. Lighter fighting going on here. Anti-tank half-track firing at something, which probably made a very hasty retreat. And will the infantry half-track actually make it back to base? The riflemen are almost all suppressed.
Forward supply line.
And the infantry half-track is actually raking up kills. Damaged engine though again. Panzer grenadiers are moving in. Will it be in time? Will it be in time? Grenade goes off on the half-track. Doesn't do anything. Squad retreat, in fact. Oh, that was very, very close. Oh dear, so close for Demolition Jeep to have salvaged it. Oh, squad went down on retreat, though. That's quite the vengeance. Panzer continued firing out from the window, something to get some more armies. And there we go, anti-tank on the move. Of course, he's seen this, so he doesn't want to send in an armoured car right away. Squad down instead of going to hit. He could replace it with some Rangers, equip them with some Toms and submachine guns, and go gun up some crowds. And that looks to be what he's doing, getting the Thompson submachine gun. Nice, solid submachine gun, but also relatively expensive to make, and also a bit heavy, from what I've been told. And of course, while he did have the drum magazine, the problem with drum magazines, that was actually also the problem with the Soviet PPH-41's magazine, is you couldn't actually fully load it up, otherwise you would ruin the spring, which is sort of meant to keep it all going. The more regular, I don't know, stick magazine tends to sort of be the favorite overall, plus of course it also makes the whole weapon a bit more heavy to lug around all that munition in one magazine. Flamethrowers pushing in there, and there we go. Thompson's firing away, quickly dropping a Panzer grenadier. And of course the Americans did try to replace the Thompson with the M3 grease gun, which was their attempt actually basically making an MP40. Anti-tank half-tank dodging bazooka rounds in this Panzer. Need to get out. We also see a forward reinforcement point going up. Oh, just as the Americans managed to clear pretty much out any resistance nearby. Rather than here getting stopped. Oh, they shouldn't stop out in the open. They're just taking losses. Rangers still push in. Though they could, of course, also risk getting outgunned. I mean, we are talking 9 Panzer Grenadiers. 2 of them with offensive veterancy. And basically also all Gewehr 43 upgraded. We do see him pushing in. More grenades going off. Doesn't quite do anything. And flamethrower, yes, moving up behind all the Panzer Grenadiers. Oh dear, oh dear. And there we go. The Panzer guys are run off. 3 kills already for the Rangers. Rangers lead the way. Hooah. Securing a bit there. Taking down this point. That's going to be quite a bit of waste in manpower, tragically enough, for Demolition Jeep. Oh, I actually forgot to switch over to him. My apologies, I got so caught up in the excitement. Ken coming in here, perhaps hoping to harass a bit. This almost done, but will it be in time? Will the Panzers manage to get in? And we are seeing Sturmgewehrs going up, the also known as the MP44, depending on who you ask. The MP44 basically being its sort of cover name, so the Führer would not get annoyed, because he rather wanted production to focus on submachine guns, not assault rifles. It was first when he saw it, and he sort of figured, wait, this is actually a pretty great weapon. Of course, it's something to remember. Kenkrad here, though, could get lost for the Panzer Brigade. Panzer is getting run off, and again going for the forward reinforcement point. A BAR could be a nice upgrade now for Dutch, by the way. Anti-tank half-track. Could there be more on the way? So far, no. Sturmgewehrs at the front. More Rangers. And here's the thing, though. Assault rifles actually ignore whatever defensive bonuses from elite armor that Rangers gain. That is damage reduction. They do full damage to Rangers, and not a lot of infantry weapons do that. Pretty much no other weapon does that. So that is actually quite nicely done right there. by Demolition Jeep. It is definitely the right way to fight Rangers, or one of the better ways anyways. Grenades going into the house though, bazookas, submachine guns, and the Panzers inside die. Heavy losses for the Panzer Brigade. And we are now seeing a mortar half-track on the way to add some artillery fire, which was tended in fact to be largely the only sort of artillery a Panzer Brigade would have. Mortar half-tracks, perhaps some Stukas or Fuß, if they had that even.
We can now booby trap buildings to confound the enemy.
And there we go, scorched earth up, booby traps. Clearly Demolition Jeep has plans of scorching the entire area, or at least ensuring the Americans can't take it. Well, if they can, he's not going to allow them to take it in one piece. Wagner coming under fire, veterans who won. Rivals are slightly edging forwards, but are quickly moving. And there we go, actually Browning automatics up. And it would also actually be quite nice considering this sort of amount of infantry. He has to have a medic station up, so it could sort of, you know, slowly but get up some attrition on Demolition Jeep. I think that can actually work quite nicely for Dutch. Could rather make it painful for Demolition Jeep to lose further men. Of course, that's just my opinion. There we go, the mortar half-track. In this case, the mortar half-track based on the light half-track. There was also one on the medium half-track, the mittlere Schützenpanzerwagen. Quite the force there, although clearly, I mean, he has lost a bit in the infantry department. But of course, Rangers tend to make up, and already one of them is veterans who won, which basically means it's going to be a bit more nasty. So, of course, is something to keep in mind. And some Panzers wondering where they can find a good place to watch the booby trap go off as the Americans take it. But there we go, booby trapping the front line pretty much. Going to make it very difficult for Dutch to advance. More assault rifles, another Kettenkrad. Sector artillery going up. The sector artillery. And there we go, pushing forward. I'm not a huge fan though of him sort of lobbing up basically. And of course this could also be a reason why Demolition Jeep went for scorched earth and sector artillery. I mean, one sector artillery called in the right place could be absolutely devastating for Dutch. And I do mean devastating. And he's got the munitions for it. Panzer though could go down. He could lose a squad or two. Yes, indeed, squad down. And there we go, sector artillery is in. Mortar rounds going down. Oh, Dutch is playing a very dangerous game. And he gets another squad. But again, there's sector artillery. Dutch, don't get out of there. No. Oh, that's so bloody close. He is playing with fire. Highly explosive, raining down from the heavens fire. I mean, that really should not have worked. Oh, dear. And of course, it is sort of the darker side of sector artillery. I mean, you can also risk it doing very little if your opponent knows what he's doing. But, I mean, that was definitely very ballsy by Dutchx and the 9th Infantry and should have been punished. It did not get it. Instead, Demolition Jeep lost himself a few more squads. You know, he might be able to wreck the anti-tank gun. Going over for a bit of harassment there, that's lovely. Let's just beat things up. Not much happening here, just an anti-tank gun getting shot at, wrecked. Mortar half-track getting reinforced. Units advancing up the right-hand side. Might be trying to flank over here. Just cause some problems. And there we go, drawing out Demolition Jeep. And engaging the Panzers. Oh, Kettenkrad got knocked out with a bazooka. Veterans who won for both Ranger squads. Now, more Panzers moving up there. Sturmgewehrs raking into the advancing Rangers. And instead he's forced to retreat right past all of the Rangers. And the mortar half-track could go down. Nice flank right there. Of course, mortar half-track would in fact have been his target all along. Looks like it will manage to escape this time around. Panzer is still holding out around the forward reinforcement point. Yeah. Anti-tank half-track almost goes down. Almost. And we are seeing another anti-tank gun out. Right hand side being re-secure. Engineers down. Gun down by the Gewehr for free equipped Panzer gunners. And then we've got grenades and submachine guns. Trying to cut down a few there. That could prove very, very unpleasant. Oh dear, he could lose a veterancy 2 squad. Oh, and they just gained veterancy 3. The Thompsons are just doing horrible, horrible work to Demolition Jeep's men. Oh, that was terrible. Absolutely terrible. Of course, a Panzer IV with some armoured skirts could prove beneficial, but no, he's going straight for the Panthers. Which could have limited usage, of course, but still could prove alright. But Dutch is actually suffering quite a bit. He's lost another infantry squad. In fact, he's very low in infantry. Again, his approach is a bit... what shall we say? Flippant, I suppose, when it comes to the survival of his own men. A rather pattern type, I suppose. But... I know, I think he needs to work a bit more on unit preservation, and again, he needs some medic stations up, I think, at least to sort of pull off that convincingly in the long run. But let's go return to him. Panther battle group being prepared. He could get an off-map combat group, though, which could work out quite nicely. Come on, fraps, fraps, fraps. There we go. I thought. Stabilize and done. Booby traps going off again. I've been taking a bit of damage there. Panzer is moving up on the right hand side. Half track's getting repaired.
We are losing a fuel point.
Could be he's got himself expert repairs. Could be he hasn't. It looks like Dutch and the 9th Infantry are relying on off-map combat groups of Heights, and this is sufficient firepower to overcome the crowds. Charging in there again, the Rangers so far doing most of the work. Veterancy 2 on these chaps, 15 kills. A nice grenade down here, and there we go, squad retreating right. Oh, full retreat! He could cut down another squad while they're trying to get out of there. And there we go, down, man, down. Oh dear, oh dear, oh dear, oh dear. Oh, that would be another veterancy 2 squad down, which would be quite nasty.
Enemy unit.
And he lost it again. Flak feeling that opens up, hoping to get a few vengeance kills, but fails. Off-map combat group. 2 anti-tank guns, an armoured car, and some riflemen. Now in that sense, Dutch will not be lacking in anti-tank guns. The T-17, perhaps a bit limited, but could still be used to harass. Certainly. Although again, should be careful about the anti-tank half-track, or rather it fancies itself blasted to bits. But more infantry always nice, though again I sincerely think that Dutch should invest in a medic station, perhaps even 2. More booby traps going down, the T-17 moving up, opening up, fires. Interesting they actually has it and not, say, a rather regular arm. The T-17 was itself never really used by the Americans, it was more used by the British. The Americans rather stuck to the M8 Greyhound, or for other reconnaissance purposes of a heavier assault, they either went for the Stuart light tank, which of course was later on replaced with the M24 Chaffee. Come here under a bit of fire, moving forwards.
Listen up, rifle squad.
Lots of munitions for a nice artillery drop if properly placed. And of course Dutch is probably a bit wary about his anti-tank, as he knows there's a mortar half-track out there. Or at least I think he does. I'm coming, yes, of course he is, and of course that could easily deal with his anti-tank, and so in that sense he does need to show some caution, some restraint, and also note, Demolition Jeep aka Symbiosis is moving them in a pair. He's not, you know, leaving one unassisted by the other. He does not want them to get caught out in the open and blasted to bits. Second supply upgrade, again medic station would be nice and dandy, pushing in here again. Panzer is getting pushed away. Again, booby traps, at least he's very consistent with that. One goes off. Oh dear, 4 men went down. Will the Rangers try and do something here? Nope, they pull back instead. And of course the plant upgrades are not just good about upkeep, they also help with veterancy for. So that of course is something to keep in mind. And there we go. Sturmgewehr Panzers are moving in, but I'm countering the Rangers with submachine guns. Bazooka's moving in. Oh, absolutely failing to even put a dent in the cover. In which case, of course, the Panzers could suddenly find themselves a lot more exposed as their cover was turned into a fine white mist. Powder or grey mist, I know. Quite thought that one out. Sometimes metaphors fail, I'm afraid. We do see the Panzers getting turned away. And there we go, the flak feeling turns about and doesn't really do anything again. Panzer is pushing up there. Grenade going into their path. Or at least supposed path. One Panzer Grenadier bites dust. T-17 opens up. 1 kill so far. It's not such a large favourite as the armoured car, partly due to the fact that it's initially weak. It can't lay down mines. And generally it's not really accurate. I mean, the problem, of course, initially with the T-17 was, before it was probably nerfed, though, it was pretty much a tiny Ostwind. Except it fired much faster and was much more accurate and could thus turn things around. Now it fires a lot slower, but it's also a lot less accurate. So perhaps it received a bit too much there. But veterans, all 3 victory points are in the hands of 9th Infantry Division and Dutchx again. And there we go, the Panthers are arriving. Even crushing a bit of a searchlight there. How rude. And advancing again in the name of the Panzer Brigade. Anti-tankers. And there we go, another booby trap. Oh, he's a bit too slow there. Loses 1 man. Going for another off-map combat. Panthers rolling forwards. Largely what armor a Panzer Brigade would have had would have been Panthers. Later sort of series of Panzer Brigades would have had some Panzer Forces assault guns instead. That's about it. They were a fun, interesting formation, I would say. Perhaps not the most effective one. Mine goes off there, set off by a mortar round, and the armored car gets spotted by the 2 Panthers. And something tells me it won't be making it back home.
Casualties being reported.
And there we go. Armored car went kaput.
At this rate, we'll be taking Berlin by Christmas.
And another off-map combat group, perhaps from Dutch. Of course, you could also consider getting a tank dep up, getting some tank destroyers up, perhaps a Sherman to help deal with the infantry. I mean, that would also perhaps be a better way of using resources, and 2 anti-tankers, a heavy machine gun, and some riflemen. I mean, he's got a ton of anti-tank guns. But Dutchx at the moment has one major issue. That's this mortar half-tank. It's pretty much making his anti-tank guns not worth an awful lot. He needs to deal with that rather convincingly, and soon. Otherwise he might risk some problems. Panzer is out here in the open. 30 caliber moving up. Booby tram the point right there in front of the Rangers though. That could work out less sterlingly. Mortar rounds going down again. He really needs to deal with it, I think. Could be he might be trying now. Actually moving in here. He could be moving in another squad here. No! Oh! Come on. Yeah, there we go. There we go. Move one in there. Move in the other there. That could cause some problems for it. Panthers are moving in on the spot. You could, so not close to getting any artillery, never mind. 30 caliber watching there. Might want to get the other troops moving. And the mortar half-track escapes. Nice and dandy. Truck gets wrecked by the Panther. Clearly having no respect for the thing that's supposed to get its fuel there. Or for that matter, the food or anything else. And there we go, Panthers advancing straight into the anti-tank. Now the other one's pointing in a slightly rubbish direction, never mind. Panzer's here trying to do a bit of harassment. Now, man, I'm most unfortunate for the Panzer Grenadiers. And overall, he doesn't actually have any units left with any veterancy. Which is rather unfortunate for him. Of course, on the other hand, he's also causing a lot of damage to Dutch. Mortar going to go down, getting off a mine. Advanced repairs up actually, so that was not what he had before. Interesting, but not again. Advanced repairs tends to be a good upgrade for the Panzer, unless of course you go on Luftwaffe and Luftwaffe ground troops, in which case use them. Otherwise, it's a great upgrade that can really pay off in the long run. He might just be firing at what he knows to be regular mortar mine points though, and that is one of them. Again, much higher ranking players do have a lot of things, you know, they sort of figure out. It goes like that, then we do this. Oh. Bother. A veterancy-free ranger school. That tends to be in the dangerous end of things, in particular since I do believe they get a 50% damage bonus. So those are going to be rather unpleasant to encounter. In particular, your Hans' name is Hans Fritz or Helmut. Panzer is advancing straight into a mine. Suppressed. Now the advances. Come on, fraps be nice. Grenade goes off. Doesn't do anything. Unfortunately, right there for poor Dutchx. And again, Rangers do gain a 50% damage bonus at Veterancy 3. They also gain some nasty accuracy bonus as they level up generally. So, of course, that means Veterancy 3 Rangers will be really dangerous, partly due to the fact they will be extremely accurate with the submachine guns, which of course will also be doing a lot more damage. 30 caliber holding up here, but there's the mortar. Now, of course, this position is going to completely fall apart, and Dutch needs to react quickly. Perhaps call in some artillery right there to deal with the Panzer gun is something. There you go, Panzer's going in, and artillery going in, all in the armor. Almost getting the mortar half-tank, almost. Gets the Panther though, other moves in. Anti-tank gun cleared out. Where are the others? Nowhere near able to support. Bazooka rockets fail to penetrate the 80mm of sloped frontal armor on the Panther. Again, though they were never really designed for it, the mortar half-tank once more fires, heavily damaged but still not out of the fight. Panzer's continuing up there. Damaged engine. He's trying to knock it out with some bazooka fire. Has to be careful. The flak feeling opens up. Gets a ranger. Finally gets a kill. And on the veterans of 3 chaps on to boot. Has to be careful. Have to be careful. Moving into the artillery. Another kill. Several kills for the flak feeling. Gunning down rangers. Cutting open their bodies. Their entrails spilling out on the ground. Anyways, Panzer is getting up, battered over here. Hellcat now out. That might have been another off-map combat group. Probably is. But quite a few anti-tank guns. Not that they're doing him much good at the moment.
The enemy is seizing our territory.
If only had been there to sort of help down the mortar out, because again I really think that's actually causing a lot of problems for him. Again, it's rather preventing him from using his anti-tank as any aggressive manner, because again, mortar half-tank will take care of that. And now increased squad sizes for Symbiosis' Panzer gun is making that much more lethal, giving them that much more firepower, in particular the assault rifles. Because again, I mean, now one upgrade will basically mean all 4 of them are equipped with Sturmgewehrs. He's got munitions for 2 sector artilleries. That's never good either. Might want to point this that way, Dutch. Towards the enemy. Not towards the elves. BAR drop though. And the Rapney right here are not doing well at all. And they could now be the ones suffering, getting cut down on retreat. No, but apparently they dropped quite a few Browning automatics. How many were they carrying anyways? Yeah, we were like having 6, mate. Bob. You know, union regulations and all. We need 5. Anyways, Rather than reinforcing, yeah, they were apparently logging around 3 BARs. The Panther hides and moves forward in the name of the fatherland. Hellcat also there, but there's not exactly a lot of support for it. And of course the mortar is there, and sector artillery goes down as well. Rangers could get the mortar after. Get it, get it, get it. Now the Panther moves in. But there we go, bazooka hits on the mortar half track. Get the mortar. Get the mortar half track, Dutch. And there we go. But a sector artillery takes out quite a few Rangers. Well, there we go. The mortar half track finally bit the dust. Of course, Demolition Jeep could easily replace it if he so desired. But that should hopefully give him a bit more out of his anti-tank guns if he so decides to use them. He could also use by recruiting a few things. And again, medic station, Dutch. Medic station. There we go. The Panzer goes rushing out here under the watchful gaze of the anti-tank half-track. Hauling forwards. And the Panzer goes moving forward, getting caught there. 30 caliber getting hit. Anti-tank guns. Not quite within range. There we go, though. Nice hit. Panzer was trying to flank the 30 caliber rifle moving in to clear the flank. Oh, the 30 caliber got cleared out. Another squad moving up towards the anti-tank gun.
Americans are seizing territory from us.
And then going after the anti-tank and rather limiting the amount of anti-tank guns Dutch has access to. Oh dear, oh dear, oh dear. How shall this ever go? Rifle and Panzer guys here fighting. Defense veterans are up there. Rifle are taking heavy losses for two of the Panzer Grenadiers, or at least they're bleeding quite a bit there. Veterans E2 for the Rifle and the Panzer guys. They all retreat, in fact. Leaving behind an anti-tank gun for someone to use. There we go. Panzer guys working on another anti-tank gun, but the Hellcat is there, keeping them at bay with its 50 caliber gun. Panzer guys moving up. Panther there. Hellcat might get knocked out by the 75mm high velocity gun on the Panther. The Rangers need to move up. And another off-map. He's got tons of anti-tank guns. I mean, the battlefield is littered with them. They're starting to become junk. Like pieces of fast food wrapping instead of this now it's anti-tank guns. I mean, the American army certainly has a reputation for being a bit wasteful, but I mean, come on, all those anti-tank guns. And sector artillery stops the advance. Going towards here, so Kettengrad. Slowly Kettengrad. Just watch all of those anti-tank guns maneuvering about. And I also, again, I think he needs to recruit those anti-tank machine guns, I mean. And again, I also think he needs some medic stations up. That would again really benefit him. Probably could have benefited him right now in the longer run, and might even have won him the game earlier. Panzer's moving up on the left hand side. Nice assault force. Slightly less assault force moving up through the center to support the Panther. And the Kettenkrad went down. And right note here, of course, the anti-tank guns have nothing to protect them. So of course, I mean, they're going to go down pretty quickly. Although we do see a quick push in from Dutchx. Artillery going in somewhere. Against here actually. Does not save the anti-tank gun though. Or the anti-tank guns, two more cleared out. And not interesting against the larger force of concentration right here. Now of course more anti-tank guns sort of lying everywhere. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7. That was 8 anti. Oh wait, that's one that's actually not been decrewed. My mistake. Oh, the old man. And again, he should be careful about just blobbing up. He knows there's sector artillery on. And of course, now the anti-tank gun here is right exposed. I've been retreating from there. Probably a booby trap. Another anti-tank gun going to get cleared out by the Germans. Again, rather horrendous losses for the 9th Infantry. And the anti-tank gun dealt with.
Need something?
We're losing ground out there.
Rifle moving in. Panzer's getting gunned down. And a grenade right into there. Ooh, will it work? Oh, yes. 2 men down, perhaps even 3. That was a wondrous grenade. Leaving behind only 1 Panzer grenade, hiding all back in the alley. And then trying for the 100-meter sprint. Away from the Americans. But runs right past them instead. Pushing up here. And there we go, the Panzer's getting run off. There's quite a few BRs left behind everywhere. I mean, there's just so much equipment lying around. And no one's picking it up. Booby traps. Victory points though are draining down for Demolition Jeep. And so far that motor pool really hasn't seen much usage, to be honest. Another Panther battle group, another pair of Panthers. Rather than getting blasted. And another sector. Oh, he lost the Rangers! He lost the Veterancy 3 Rangers to the sector artillery. Oh, Dutch. Oh, and a rifle also taking some brutal losses right there. That was absolutely horrific right there. That could pretty much be the game-defining moment. And generally, though, one could of course also point out the fact that the off-map combat groups have been pretty rubbish for Dutch. Just lots and lots of anti-tank, which he sadly hasn't needed as much. Now the Panthers begin wrecking the anti-tank guns. Victory points falling into their hands. Now the T-17, another Hellcat, rifleman and a mortar. Mine going down there. Moving in there. Panzer's coming a bit under fire. Mortar rifle moving up. And rifle quickly getting blasted by Panther fire. And artillery going in. But the Panthers, of course, could easily move beyond that. And the artillery strike does very little damage. So now, of course, the mortar's next. Boob trap goes off on the rifleman. And Dutch isn't paying attention. He loses a squad immediately. Continues up here. Panzer's hitting a mine. Some are suppressed and a bit lost. Riflemen have secured now 4 Browning automatics. And their veterans issues, and they're quite nasty. American vehicles and armor trying to get away, but the Panthers are simply hunting them down. No white phosphorus round either to perhaps even stun one of the Panthers, allowing the Americans to escape. And damage engine on the Hellcat. This is pretty much game over for that. And there we go, wrecked. This rifleman seems to have been forgotten. Heavy losses amongst the 9th now. The looks like to have completely collapsed.
Losing a point out there.
And there we go, a burned out wreck. Alongside so many other wrecks of American equipment. Trying to push in with a larger assault. Panzers do find themselves run off, but there's still the Panthers to deal with, and they are not really capable of handling the Panthers that well. Pushing up here in the center, but the mortar going to the victory point is exposing itself. Booby trap goes off, and the mortar goes down. Rifleman down.
Losing ground out there.
And now the Rifleman Rangers are out in the open versus a defensive excellency 2 Panther. And another off-map could be called in. Another Hellcat, 2 mortars and a Rifleman. Squad's just not good. That is awful. For Dutch, that is. For the German player, of course, it's great. Panther moves, gets off a nice kill. Hellcat rushes in. We do see the German pushed off here. 17 points left. Five Browning automatics on the rifleman, up to Union regulations there, I suppose. An anti-tank and recruit firing into the rear of the, or side of the Panther anyways. Doesn't quite succeed. The battle largely looks lost for the American cause. And another booby trap. This time they do manage to escape it. Let's just speed up a bit. Rifleman moving in and getting blasted. Artillery getting called in. Sticky bomb hoping to perhaps immobilize the Panther, but perhaps he should have timed it a bit better. First the sticky bomb, damage engine, and then the artillery. The other way around doesn't quite work. So instead he just wasted quite a bit of munitions. Bit unfortunate. Another anti-tank about to get wrecked. Tries to get one of the Panthers, but at the same time the anti-tank is in a bit of a position where it could quickly get sorted out by a few Panzer Grenadiers with a mean streak. And there we go, they are rushing in. Bullets are flying. Rangers moving up. And the mortar round flies in. And we're actually seeing a scout car up for Demolition Jeep. And we do see a 30 caliber recruit by Panzer Grenadiers. Anti-tank and recruit, Panther moves in. Anti-tank and quite a bit exposed. Panzer Grenadiers rushing in.
Infantry squad.
And anti-tank gun sorted. Another Browning dropped. More shots flying. Mortar rounds. And the rifleman here definitely need to be careful. Grenade doesn't quite achieve much, and now the Rangers are rushing into a building, hoping to get off some good shots on the Panther. Panther is quick to turn the front, and the Rangers all of a sudden find themselves quite a bit under fire without fully being able to respond. Thus resulting in a pretty quick evacuation. Speeding things up a bit again. A bit of a long match. And returning to Demolition Jeep. Does seem to have largely everything under control, wrecking the few anti-tank guns left. And Dutch not really having much left himself. And we are seeing still plenty of resources for Sector 2. He could even go for a Hummel if he so wanted. He doesn't seem to care at this moment of the fight, at this stage. And there we go, Sector 2 going in. Doing quite a bit of damage. Mortar firing. And, ooh, he finally gets two Hellcats to join the first one. The question is if that's enough now. Mortar here getting shot at by the Panther with 17 infantry kills, 1 vehicle kill and 2 armor kills. And there we go, the mortar is gone. Hellcats charge directly into the German base. And a mortar half-track appears more or less at the same time. Oh wait, he can't, he's got full population, so he can't actually do anything about it. Trying to crash a few Panzer Grenadiers, succeeds. Will the Panthers roll in? They will. Except the, oh, that's one also been fully repaired. And there we go. Mortar half-track down. Panthers moving in. The Hellcat needs to get out of there. This is not going to end well for them. But they're getting stuck a bit on things. And veterancy achieved. Veterancy free for the Panther. Artillery called in again in some desperate attempt. Of course, while the Panthers occupy, we do see a push in here. But Sector Artillery stops the assault right there, leaving only 1 point left. And with that, there's a 30 caliber hiding inside the Bell factory with some Panzer Grenadiers for assistance. Looks like he lost. No, he didn't even lose a Panther on that. Now go moving in. Rifleman getting absolutely murdered. Grenade goes off. Rangers moving in. The 30 caliber opens up continually. Panzer Grenadiers with Gewehr 43s and lots of offensive veterancy. Forward reinforcement point. Rifleman here getting murdered. And Rangers setting up in the nearby building. And another squad of riflemen gone. Being behind only now the Rangers. Caught in a nearby factory. Forward reinforcement point up there. And everybody is bearing down on the Rangers. Who do seem to try and lead, but they're going to have to run past all of this. And clearly they're not going to make it out of there alive.
The enemy is weakening even
And
now.
there we go. That's pretty much GG for Dutch. He's got practically nothing left.
The enemy has 50 points left.
Panther moves into the base. More off-map combat group, but clearly not enough. So there you go. Game over. A loss for Dutch and the 9th Infantry. The 107th Panzer Brigade secured victory, although it was pretty close. That would have been the opposite. The problem, I think, for Dutch again was rather these sort of heavy casualties incurred somewhere during the early to mid-game. You know, where all of a sudden he was down to very few units. He did not get a medic station to help rectify that. I think there was also an over-reliance on off-map combat groups, when clearly he might have been benefited better from just getting a tank depot and getting up some armor and some tank destroyers than basically just moving in to take names. And again, you know, live by the combat group, die by the off-map combat group, and usually you tend to die more than you live by it. And in the longer run, of course, Demolition Jeep was able to sort of handle things, partly again due to the off-map combat group reliance by Dutchx. And of course, the mortar uptake caused quite a bit of problem as well for some time. But there you go. Hope you enjoyed this match. Hope you learned something from it. If you didn't, why not subscribe and tell your friends? No, if you did, why not subscribe and tell your friends? Of course, if you didn't, why not send a replay of your own or provide some feedback in the comment section. This is Imperial Dane saying cheers.